What's going on? Just wanted to give a quick update on my situation. So I have an orientation on Friday with Chipotle, and I got my EBT card and I got my phone on. Everything just kind of like flipped on its head, you know? I should be starting work next week. And yeah, there's just some things about me really shining right now that I'm just seeing more clearly about myself too. And just seeing how it reflects on others and things like that. It's just funny. It's a whole funny thing, but you know, it's really just showing me to shine regardless, you know. I wanted to talk about the importance of clearing your energy, your auric field, your energetic system, cleansing it as well, and you know, cutting, like cord cutting, and then balancing as well, you know. It's something that I think is very important, that you should always be doing, and it's the main thing that I use to continue to move forward, to clear my own mind, clear my own body, because you know, energy gets stuck in our body in different places when we think different ways and when we hold certain ideas and beliefs. So clearing and cleansing is important for that, just to get energy moving, get your mind off of itself, get you off of your own mind really, and get back into your body as well, because you're able to feel the energy moving back and forth with how it should, and things clearing up in different places. Different thoughts and ideas start to flow into your mind because of that energy flow changing and coming back to balance. Cord cutting is very good as well, to let go of past things, let go of even future things and ideas, because we get attached to people and physical things, yes, but we also get really attached to thoughts and ideas that we find in our mind, things that we try to hold on to, that we try to control as well. So you always want to clear, cleanse, cut, and balance just comes with, you know, clearing and cleansing as well. But you want to do those things just to make sure that the connection between you and the infinite source is clear and uninterrupted, so that you are able to have more clarity within and through yourself. And I think that's a part of protection as well, without saying protection, you know. You know, you don't always have to attack and defend, you know what I mean? You don't always have to, you know, battle, because, you know, that's part of the whole 4D thing, you know. Like, the 4D is where, you know, we begin to manipulate energies and are able to sense others and all that type of stuff. And then when you move up a stage into unity, it's different. It's not about battle. It's about, you know, maintaining that connection to source, and you'll never get there if you're always worrying about an enemy, if you're always worrying about fighting and protecting yourself all the time. You'll always be entertaining the idea of the enemy, therefore inviting in fear, anxiety. You know, how do we remove that? How do we get out of that, so we're not always battling with ourselves too, with anxiety and control and all that, you know? Because say you don't protect yourself one day, say you don't do any protective magic or projections around yourself, say you don't do that, you know, like, if you're not on top of those things, does it mean that you need to worry about being attacked? You know what I mean? And the simple point of just being worried about the attack and worried about someone doing something to you just invites you to attack yourself. You know what I mean? Even if no one is doing anything to you. And that's another thing. That's why in dreams, even though like you may see someone in your dream, like it's not always, you know, the right thing to do to just because you see someone in your dream that, oh, it's them that's doing this and that, because it's an illusion as well. So that face could be used by an entity. That face could be used by an energy to try to manipulate you in the dream as well. So, you know, you just got to be conscious, and the same way you would treat any divination, like tarot or anything like that, where you're just looking at energy. You just want to treat it like that. You want to treat it like that. You don't want to be so hard, try to look at it like these are hard, cold facts. This is who and this is what they're doing and all this kind of stuff like that. That really causes you to do things that you probably shouldn't be doing, like attacking others, you know what I mean? Attacking them back or whatever. You know, you don't want to assume the energy in yourself, you know? Always clear, cleanse, cut, balance, and keep your connection with the infinite creator of all things uninterrupted. And it's always there, always with you at all times. It's not going anywhere. It is who you are. It is one and a part of you. And just know that it's always there for you no matter what. So if you ever fall off, all you gotta do is get back on. Clear, cleanse, cut, balance. You're good. You're good. You know, we gotta, me personally, I think we gotta not simplify things, but let some load off. You know what I mean? I feel like we start to build up all the knowledge, and I find that as you go up further, there's less need to hold on to so much thoughts, ideas, and knowledge and all this kinds of stuff. Not that we should forget it. It's that you're embodying it, and when you embody it and it's a part of you, it becomes second nature. You know, so there's no really need to hold on to things physically and mentally, because it's a part of you. You know. Well, without dragging it on, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about, and I wanted to just update you guys on my situation. I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Things are going up. And because I got the job, they're going to, well, you know, I ain't going to put y'all all in my business. Just know that they're really putting in work behind the scenes now, you know, just because I've reached the next step in the program. I guess one more thing I'd like to say is, yo, keep on shining, yo. No matter what people think or say or don't say or whatever, keep on shining. Keep on shining. Like, keep on dancing, keep on smiling no matter what. Don't listen to none of these people telling you that you need to be this way and that way. You need to do this and act like this, and you need to do it like this and that. Do what works for you and your body. You feel me? Like, do not listen to these people. And I'm talking about people around you physically. Because some of these people, they you know, they act like they like you and they want to be around you, and then next thing you know, they switch because you know, I'm not gonna get into the psychology. I like psychology, but I'm not gonna get into that. Just, you know, but you know, sometimes you bother things inside people. You lift things up out of them because they're comparing themselves to you, and then they're feeling how miserable they are in comparison to you, and they can't get there. They can't do what you're doing. You know what I mean? They can't get themselves to, and it's not your job to get them there. You feel me? It's just your job to, you know, continue being who you are. You know, you're a walking example of the infinite creator, and and everything that is, you know? You don't need to conform. You don't need to bend like anyone or anything else doing whatever that they're doing, because obviously it ain't working, you know, and it don't work for you. So don't do it. You know, we got to stop doing things that don't work for us. You know, I don't care where it's coming from a friend, from family, from society. If it don't work for you, you know, find what works for you and just do that. You know, God is going to meet you where you're at. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, because I'm in this shelter right now, and it's just so funny. It's just really, really funny. And people have no choice but to be around me and but to see me, you know? And the crazy part is I'm not even talking to these people. I don't talk to them. I don't associate with them. I don't hang out with them. I don't play games with them. None of that. So it's just so funny to see that, you know, it doesn't matter how I try it. I've swung this many ways. I've tried to be friends with people in the past. You know, this time around now I'm in the shelter, it's a little different. I'm not choosing to befriend people and communicate with just anybody, you know. I'm feeling it out first in my own body and knowing who to connect and communicate with. You know, I'm not like overextending. And it's still funny to see the same reactions happen with the people that you're not connecting with, you know what I mean? They have to sit and watch you be happy and watch you smile, even though we're in a situation that you know, by you know, the standards of living, we should be miserable. We should all be miserable and depressed and stressed and sad and running around trying to get things done. And it doesn't have to be that way, you know. And I think that many people can't see another way of living, can't see another way of doing things other than, you know, a certain way and being a certain way through it. You know, just because you're in a stressful situation don't mean you need to be out here acting depressed and acting stressed. How would you ever make a good decision from that place? How would you ever do that? That's why you need to stay connected and keep your flow, your connection to the infinite source uninterrupted, especially when you're trying to make decisions and do work out here for yourself, you know? So you could make decisions from a good place, from a clear-headed place. It doesn't make any sense to be out here stressed and depressed, you know, just because everyone else is and just because our situation says it should be that way. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It doesn't need to be. We need to find other ways to do things and other ways to live, because obviously the ways that we've been living are not working, you know, as far as, you know, us in the shelter. So, and also what I find is that people gravitate towards, you know, those people who are going about things differently, and they gravitate and they also adopt those same ideals, you know what I mean? And, you know, you can tell the ones who are walking through the day with it and they're prospering, you know, things are getting done, things are working out better for them, and everyone is in a different situation. Some people have court stuff, some people were legit homeless, and then there's some who need rehab and, you know, got drug things going on. But yet still, the people who adopt those ideals have better success in the day. They come back to the shelter feeling good, feeling better, smiling, talking, eating, enjoying their time. There's no need to be stressed and depressed and miserable and have everybody in there feeling miserable, especially if you're supposed to be leading the thing. Especially if you're supposed to be the one, you know, keeping people motivated and making sure things are straight. You're not leading me. You know, I don't care who you are. My smile and my laughing and my yes to everyone, you know, may seem like weakness and may seem playful, like I'm not serious, but just know when it's time, when you try to implement your little tactics, they don't work, and I won't stop. You know what I mean? And it's not even something I'm doing on purpose. You know. So I mean, people underestimate, you know, my toughness, really, you know. And I don't have to be, you know, physically the definition looking at me of tough, you know what I mean? I don't play tough like that, you know what I mean? I like to, tough in a different way, tough mentally, tough spiritually, you know what I mean? Able to get through any difficult situation and do it with a smile on my face, do it happily, you know what I mean? I'm happy to toil, I'm happy to go through this, I'm happy to find my way through it and enjoy my life through it and learn the process, man. Learn the process, learn how to get through this myself. Not by anyone else's standard, not by no one else's doing. It's by my doing and by the will that I feel through me. You feel me? So I just wanted to talk about that. What is this, 15 minutes? I felt like I talked a lot. It's been only 15 minutes. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update and my idea of clearing, cleansing, and cutting, and still seeing that as very important, because I know I've been talking on unity and transcending things, but clearing, cleansing, and cutting is still something that is very important and something you should do daily, even multiple times a day. Clear, cleanse, cut, and balance. And it sometimes, and most times, for me at least, every time, it's enough to protect me and keep me aligned, with where I need to be within myself. I would like to touch on, at some point, using projections to create protective barriers and calling on guides and allowing them into the space in different positions to, protect you when you're unaware, like when you're sleeping at nighttime, as well as projections while you're out and about. A lot of times those things for me help me to stay balanced and connected to the source, because I'm in a headspace of, connecting at this, at that point, and trying to let the infinite love come through me and allow, the projection to express, however it would like to express through me, So I hope what I said makes sense, man. You guys have a great day, man. I'm gonna go to the library right now. Well, I'm here right now, but I'm outside, so you guys have a good one. Peace, love, and blessings. I'll see you on another one.